Super Smash Bros, Diddy Kong Racing, Jet Force Gemini, Donkey Kong. Wait, A Bug's Life. Where did I get this game? A Bug's Life. Do you even know what that movie is? Isn't it the, No. It's the other one. It's the other one, right? Ugh. So, A Bug's Life. I've never even played this game or even cared about the movie. I don't think I've even seen the whole movie. So why did I pick it? And you might be wondering, was the entire reason you picked this was for that joke at the beginning of the video? Not even a good joke? So, as a kids movie tie-in game, I was expecting a rather crappy game. You know the type. The basic platformer with the regular attack and the jumping and the uninspired level designs, loosely based on the game. Something a kid could beat in an afternoon or two with the assistance of some chips and a river of sugary substances. That was about half right. Because just below the surface is one good mechanic that turned this game from child slop to an actual decent time. Oh, you know sure as shit I'll tell you later in the video to keep you here. Oh, I'm becoming aware. Let's get started. So let's get a couple things out of the way. This is an N64 game, so don't expect much in terms of graphics. And if you've seen an N64 game, you pretty much know what I'm talking about. Basic textures, stretched over walls, and 3D modeling. Kind of that muddy look. There's nothing inherently bad about it, but let's be honest. If you're gonna eat an apple pie expecting a pumpkin, well, that's your fault. Oh, and don't expect much of a story either. Despite being a movie tie-in, they only had so much space in the cartridge anyways, so I get it. The most you'll get are these flashcards at the beginning of the stage, telling you vaguely what is happening via the story beats. Once again, that's a pretty standard affair for N64 games due to the space limitations on the cartridges. I am curious if the PS1 differs from the N64 version in this regard, but I am too lazy to try and Google that. So let's talk about basic gameplay. As stated before, this is a pretty average platformer where you need to get to the end of the stage. You have your basic attack, tossing berries at your enemies, man jumping, and wait, the enemies come back? Yeah, they do. There is another mechanic in this game that I alluded to earlier here, and it's the seeds. You can use the seeds in this game to grow a variety of things, like mushrooms to bounce off of, or leaves to use as a platform. They also have this plant that will spew out health and upgrades. And you upgrade these plants by finding colored coins on the stage. And you know what? I'm just going to explain them all, okay? Brown coins are for the movement type plants. You got the mushroom, the propeller to lift Flick up, a dandelion for Flick to glide on, and a cannon plant which you use like one time. Green coins simply make your plant higher so you can platform your way up. It's actually the most useful plant in the game as well. Blue coins are like temporary power-ups and buffs. You got a short invincibility, you have your healing, you have a bubble shield which is quite useful, and a super jump which is required to beat some of the levels. Purple is for your berries. With this, you can upgrade your berries to make them stronger or make them kind of like seeker missiles. What's interesting about this one is you can get upgrades without this, depending on the level you're on. But you can also pick up like worse berries as well and like degrade your attacks as well, which is pretty neat. And lastly, we have the yellow coins. They make like plant turrets. You have a 3-way shooter, and I think you have one that like shoots upwards with a homing attack. You only really need this one time as well, but yeah. One more thing to note, and I didn't really figure this out until quite a bit later on in the game, is you can actually cycle through your upgrades. You need health, but you've already upgraded your plant to a super jump plant. Well, you simply hold the seed and cycle through them. Having a manual would have been nice for this. You got all that? It's important because this mechanic is what turns this from a simple platformer to a puzzle platformer. And while it's just getting to the end of the level is easy enough, you can get all of those juicy collectibles. Well, let's see what we can collect, shall we? First are the seeds. There are 50 in each level, and they really don't do anything else, I think. There's also the 4 letters for Flick's name as well. This is how you get your 1-ups. This can be a little harder to get, but it's usually not a problem. The big one, though, are the golden raspberries. It took me a little to figure it out, but yeah, remember when I told you that enemies come back? I lied. Well, kind of. That's because you weren't using the golden metal berries to make your enemies explode permanently. Amateurs. In order to do that, you usually have 2 options. The first option is upgrading your berries to become golden berries, either by upgrading the plant with purple tokens enough to, or just finding the golden berry. Yeah, you can also just find the berry you need sometimes. The second option, and not a foolproof one, is using Flick's Harvester, which just makes you invincible, but you can't jump with it, which means it's also limited in where you can take it, right into a pit as an example. Good job. Now, after knowing all of this, I think it would be a good idea to talk about some of the level design here, because this is where the game oddly shines. So, as I said before, you can pretty much clear the levels without much effort, save for a couple spots in later levels. But if you want to get all the collectibles, well then you need to figure out how to get all the coins needed to get that golden raspberry. And that's where the puzzling part really kicks in. Each level will limit or allow the extra coins to achieve what you need. And I also forgot to mention this, but some seeds are buried into the ground and you cannot move them. And this, of course, adds a bunch of extra complexity on how you can tackle each level. It honestly surprised me how much thought I was putting into the levels. So hey, you praise the game where it counts. And it's not like these are going to be impossible to do, so the puzzles are not going to be like overly complicated. But they do require to use your brain sometimes, and that's a good thing. Oh, I don't really have anything to advertise. Do you want an ashtray? There was even a point where I just straight up could not figure out what I was doing. It was level 14, I think, and my Twitch chat got frustrated with me. I did eventually figure it out, though. The fun of streaming. I wasn't really going to mention the enemies here since they're all pretty much pushovers. But there are a couple I wanted to talk about, mainly the spider. No, not this spider that I thought was a weird normal kind of ant in a bipedal ant world. I'm talking the daddy longlegs. These guys randomly shoot out webs at you, and due to the render distances are oddly difficult to avoid. It caused more than a few deaths for me. Oh wait, that was it? I guess it was. Well, the rest were pretty boring anyway. I think this would also be a good moment to talk about boss fights. So the first couple bosses are like super basic, and I don't even consider them bosses. They're more like obstacles. They're more like little levels with inconveniences. The 2 bosses after, with the big fly and the second version of the grasshoppers, are honestly pretty neat though. One of them, you're in like a giant rolling can, and if you try to get the golden berry in this, he tries throwing lower level berries at you to make you downgrade. And I thought that was honestly a cool way to mess with that mechanic. The other boss, I don't know his name, generic grasshopper number 2, also had that kind of mechanic, though for some reason, it's your own ant friends that are tossing the red berries at you to downgrade you. I come back to try and save you all, and this is how you treat me? Bunch of jerks. The final boss is just kind of dumb, though. Actually, that whole level is just kind of crap. Literally. It's all brown, including the boss. And because it's in the rain, you can barely see anything. The crappy render distance doesn't lend itself either, especially the second part of the fight where you need to get on top of this labyrinth and basically fire back where you think he is. Thank you for the shield plant, or this would have taken forever. Other than that, it was fine though. You just need to push him towards the bird until he gets mauled to death by it. Bug's Life is pretty damn brutal, isn't it? I forgot to mention the circus troupe, eh? Well, they honestly play like a minor role in the game. Once you do find them, they'll be like semi-interactable NPCs to help you get the parts you need for, let's say, to build the bird, or like using the spider web to traverse this tree, or like little stink bugs that'll help you into the air. I really should have watched the movie. Oh well, too late now. So anyways, the caterpillar, I think his name is like Heimlich or something, is the most useless character of the bunch. His whole role is to let you jump on him in an area you can already get out of. Yeah.
It's okay, you can jump on my tummy! You can jump on my tummy!
Leave me alone!
So, do you get anything for 100%ing these levels? I don't know. While jumping on my second stream on twitch.tv/Ballinator, I realized my memory card was not saving. I do know there are some speedrunning challenges in this game as well. Actually, like 60 of them. I tried a couple of them towards the end of the game, and it's honestly pretty cool. They put a surprising amount of game in this game for what you get. As a side note, my local game store clerk looked at me like I was insane when I was telling them my memory card had a save battery. I wasn't even joking. Seriously, look. Look. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm telling you. Anyways, the game is pretty decent. That extra puzzly part of the game is actually cool. I had a feeling that the PS1 version is probably the better one to play, but I can't say for sure. And I have no basis on saying that either. I'm just kind of biased like that. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel for more of this kind of content. Yeah, see you next time.